This is the most critically acclaimed Chinese language film of the past 2 weeks, and also a very unique Taiwanese film. It depicts the various facets of life in Taiwan during the White Terror period. Not only did it win the Golden Horse Award for Best Feature Film, but it also topped the Taiwanese charts less than a day after its release, and has even been hailed as the A City of Sadness of our time. The story begins in 1953. The teenage girl A-yue walks into the sugarcane field carrying lunch. Her brother, A-yue, has been hiding in this field for over 3 months. Seeing his sister's worried face, A-yue forces a smile to comfort her, telling her not to worry and not to throw things away. A-yue cannot help but ask how much longer he has to hide. After a moment of silence, A-yue takes off a watch and hands it to his sister, acknowledging the difficulties but urging her not to look down on herself. A-yue tells her that whenever she faces difficulties, she should try to imagine life 1, 2, or even 10 years into the future. She would then realize that their current hardships are nothing, and all suffering will slowly pass. At this moment, A-yue's eyes are filled with hope for the future. He firmly believes that all people are equal, and that his sister will surely be able to attend her dream school. Their beautiful vision is shattered by the sound of approaching footsteps, and A-yue prepares to flee. Before leaving, he urges A-yue to take good care of their elderly mother and young brother. With that, he runs deep into the sugarcane field. A-yue desperately stalls a police officer, who beats her brutally in a fit of rage. Meanwhile, the police have set up an inescapable net, and A-yue is ultimately arrested. From that day on, A-yue never sees her brother again. A year passes in the blink of an eye, and A-yue's family undergoes tragic changes. Both parents pass away consecutively, leaving their once complete family shattered, with only A-yue and her younger brother remaining. Their uncle's family moves in to begrudgingly take care of the siblings. Living expenses. Harsh and snobbish, the aunt treats the 2 helpless children as burdens, constantly finding fault with them. A-yue's diligent housework is met not with understanding, but with endless torment and scolding. Fortunately, their uncle is kind-hearted and treats the children quite well, often speaking up for them. Amidst the family's constant bickering, an elderly man from the village brings devastating news. Hearing this, A-yue is filled with shock. The elderly man has received A-yue's execution notice. According to the requirements, the family must immediately go to the A-yue funeral parlor in Taipei to claim the body. If the body remains unclaimed, the government will bury it anywhere. However, in that era of material scarcity, the claiming fee of over $1,000 is undoubtedly an astronomical figure for the heavily indebted family. It turns out that to save A-yue, the family had previously exhausted all their savings, only to be swindled by a con artist, ending up with nothing and drowning in debt. The uncle cannot help but sigh, wishing A-yue had not studied so much, so he might still be alive today. A-yue knows the family's dire financial situation well, but she absolutely cannot accept that her brother would die in a foreign land without a proper burial. Out of sheer desperation, the teenage girl makes a reckless decision. Late at night, while everyone is asleep, A-yue packs her bags, takes the watch her brother left behind, and a yellowed piece of paper with the address of her sister in Taipei. She embarks alone on a long journey to Taipei. She wants to find her estranged sister, A-yue, and ask for her help in bringing their brother home. On the train to Taipei, she encounters a strange prisoner. He does not seem dangerous. Even a small bird willingly lands on his hand. Unexpectedly, the escorting police officer snatches the bird and smashes it to death without any reason, purely as a show of force. This gives young A-yue her first glimpse into the cruelty of the outside world. She soon arrives in the bustling and unfamiliar city of Taipei. Everything here is entirely new to the country girl. She asks around for directions to the A-yue funeral parlor, unaware that she is slowly pushing herself into an abyss. Hearing that she is going to the funeral parlor to claim her brother's body, a man proactively approaches her, falsely claiming he has connections there who can reduce the fees. Defenseless, A-yue follows him into a car, unaware that the man is actually a human trafficker. He takes A-yue to his home and locks her up. Just as she is trapped in this desperate situation, a turning point in fate quietly descends. The rickshaw puller who had brought them there realizes A-yue left her bag in his vehicle and returns to give it back, inadvertently saving her. A-yue feels he is a good person and follows closely behind him. Unable to abandon the helpless girl, the rickshaw puller decides to take her to the funeral parlor. The puller's name is Zhao Gongdao, a mainlander who came over from Guangdong. Before he can finish introducing himself, a woman wants to hail a ride. Zhao Gongdao lies that A-yue is his sister and asks her to run alongside the rickshaw. Unable to bear seeing A-yue work so hard, the woman lets her sit in the vehicle. Thinking she has finally met a good person, A-yue realizes the woman merely wants to pay a lower fare. Unable to argue, Zhao Gongdao lets A-yue ride and plans to drop her off at the funeral parlor first. However, claiming a body requires a lot of money, and the few dozen dollars A-yue has are far from enough. In a moment of desperation, A-yue takes out the watch her brother left her. This is her only valuable possession and her last hope. But it is just an ordinary watch, and selling it doesn't yield enough money. She is told that she needs at least $90, and without selling it, she will have nothing. Ultimately, A-yue can only endure the pain of selling her brother's last memento. To make up the remaining amount, Zhao Gongdao comes up with a risky method: gambling. Miraculously, A-yue gets a lucky streak and continuously wins money. Seeing that she only needs to win one more round to gather enough, a thrilled A-yue voluntarily offers half the money to Zhao Gongdao. Unexpectedly, Zhao Gongdao gets carried away and bets his share as well. In one breath, they lose all the money they had won that day. Full of guilt, Zhao Gongdao insists on accompanying A-yue to the funeral parlor, believing they should at least see her brother one last time even without money. By the time they arrive, the funeral parlor is closed, and a cold-mannered staff member tells them to come back tomorrow. With nothing else to do, the two chat about their pasts. It turns out Zhao Gongdao was previously a soldier. His comrade, Liu Daqiang, was arrested alongside him as mainland spies when they arrived in Taiwan. Zhao Gongdao was lucky to be cleared of suspicion, but Liu Daqiang died in prison. Because of this incident, Zhao Gongdao lost his job, and now has to pull a rickshaw on the streets every day. He had encountered the war while accompanying his uncle on a business trip, foolishly became a soldier, and never returned home since. At this time, A-yue remembers her estranged sister. She has a letter from her sister with an address on it, so she asks Zhao Gongdao to help find her. When they arrive, they see a father and son squatting outside. A-yue mentions her sister's name, but the old man immediately changes his expression and denies knowing her. Fortunately, his son is friendlier. It turns out A-yue's sister, A-yue, makes a living in an opera troupe. Led by a neighbor, A-yue finally sees her sister. Seeing A-yue in gorgeous costumes, A-yue hesitates to identify herself. Since the performance is about to start, A-yue has to wait backstage for A-yue. Feeling his mission is complete, Zhao Gongdao proactively bids A-yue farewell. After the performance, A-yue finally has the chance to tell A-yue about their brother's execution. To help her sister fulfill this wish, A-yue swallows her pride and goes around borrowing money. Her colleagues generously donate, but since they are all poor, raising $1,000 is simply impossible. Meanwhile, the man who previously gave A-yue directions tracks them down. His name is A-yue. His father had adopted A-yue so she could be A-yue's wife when she grew up. However, A-yue only sees A-yue as a brother and even ran away from home to escape the engagement. A-yue has been relentlessly pestering her. To get rid of A-yue's harassment, A-yue seeks out a section chief who has always liked her, intending to offer herself in exchange for her brother's body-claiming fee. Unexpectedly, the section chief's wife and son have also fled to Taiwan, and he ultimately chooses to return to his family. A-yue witnesses this entire scene clearly while hiding outside the wall. Suddenly, cries of catching a thief echo behind her. Afraid of being misunderstood, A-yue hides in a latrine, only to find a man already hiding there. It turns out he is the thief, and A-yue helps him escape his predicament. The man gives all his stolen money to A-yue. He introduces himself as Gao Jinzhong, claiming to be the second coming of Liao Tiandin. He possesses a chivalrous heart and wants to become a hero who robs the rich to feed the poor. After a brief introduction, he vanishes into the night. Concurrently, Zhao Gongdao returns to the pawn shop to redeem A-yue's watch. He tells the boss he has no money and asks to hold on to the watch, promising to pay another day. The pawn shop owner naturally isn't easily fooled and refuses to let go without seeing the money. Zhao Gongdao plans to take more rides the next day to gather the money. Shockingly, the rickshaw company owner fires him, stating he does not want any trouble. This leaves Zhao Gongdao thoroughly confused. However, when he returns home, he realizes the situation is much more complicated. The police officer who escorted the prisoner on the train, Fan Kun, is waiting in his house. He specializes in dealing with so-called mainland spies and belongs to the nationalist government's secret police. Zhao Gongdao's former platoon and battalion commanders were both labeled as spies, so Zhao Gongdao must also undergo an investigation. It was due to their appearance that the rickshaw company owner fired him out of fear. Before Zhao Gongdao returned, they had already searched his room and found bones. Zhao Gongdao had 3 comrades from Guangdong who made a pact. The survivors would bring the bones of the deceased back to their hometown. Ultimately, all 3 sets of bones ended up with Zhao Gongdao, though he does not know when he will ever be able to go home. Fan Kun continuously probes Zhao Gongdao, questioning who would clear his name. However, seeing his innocent demeanor, Fan Kun symbolically gives him some money before leaving. Zhao Gongdao refuses the money with dignity. Fan Kun mockingly remarks on his supposed backbone, recalling how Zhao Gongdao quickly confessed Liu Daking's hiding place after enduring less than 10 minutes of torture previously. Meanwhile, as A-yue prepares to make do for the night in a haystack, she is discovered by a patrolling police officer. Taiwan was under martial law at the time, and anyone wandering outside at night would be arrested. However, seeing she is just a little girl, the officer does not make things difficult for her and simply takes her to the police station for a statement. A-yue notices a wanted poster on the wall for Gao Jinzhong, the man she briefly met. The police tell her that catching Gao Jinzhong carries a reward of 500 silver dollars, which tempts the desperate A-yue. Just then, the police bring in an arrested man, who turns out to be Zhao Gongdao. After being humiliated earlier, he drank to drown his sorrows, got into a fight with a passerby, and was arrested. The two are dramatically reunited in this manner. The next day, both are released. Having lost his job and with nothing to do, Zhao Gongdao prepares to continue helping A-yue raise money. Unexpectedly, they run into a familiar face at the market, the subordinate who followed Fan Kun the night before. Knowing Zhao Gongdao needs money, the subordinate offers a large sum for Zhao Gongdao to assassinate someone. As Zhao Gongdao hesitates, Fan Kun appears in their line of sight, and he realizes Fan Kun is the target. Under Zhao Gongdao's questioning, the subordinate reveals the truth. Fan Kun stole his childhood sweetheart, making them romantic rivals. Before the operation begins, Zhao Gongdao hands all the money to A-yue and tells her to wait on the street, promising to find her later. He then sneaks into Fan Kun's house. A momentary hesitation gives Fan Kun time to react, and the two immediately grapple. At this moment, Fan Kun's subordinate suddenly attacks from behind, but is killed by Fan Kun with a pistol. Zhao Gongdao takes the opportunity to slip away. After hesitating for a moment, he decides to escort A-yue to the funeral parlor first, but they are targeted by the previous human trafficker on the way. Upon arriving at the funeral parlor, they discover that her brother's body has already been disposed of. The staff refuse to disclose where the body was sent, claiming it is confidential. Knowing this is because they did not pay enough, Zhao Gongdao takes out the money intended for his escape and successfully learns that the body was likely sent to a medical school for dissection. As the two rush to the medical school, the human traffickers catch up and brutally beat Zhao Gongdao without a word. Coincidentally, Gao Jinzhong is being chased and passes by with a group of police officers, inadvertently saving their lives. They are all taken back to the police station. A-yue arrives in time to bail her sister out, but Zhao Gongdao is not so lucky. Upon hearing the news, Fan Kun rushes over and takes him away. From the police chief, A-yue learns of Fan Kun's identity and the fate awaiting Zhao Gongdao. Being taken by them usually means being suspected of rebellion. A-yue immediately rushes out to see Zhao Gongdao one last time. Zhao Gongdao smiles and gives her a military salute. Powerless to save the man who helped her all along, A-yue can only carry her solemn resolve and rush to the medical school with her sister to find their brother's body. Inside the morgue, formalin soaks countless unidentifiable corpses. Seeing this shocking scene, A-yue breaks down. She remembers what her brother said about leaving things to her when facing difficulties, but she has already sold the watch. She can only silently recite the years, hoping time will move faster to ease her pain. She recites the passing years one by one. It isn't until A-yue sees a corpse with a watch drawn on its wrist in pen that her tears finally overflow uncontrollably. As her brother's body is sent into the incinerator and white smoke rises, all the suffering seems to come to an end. A-yue walks on the street holding the warm ashes. At this time, a funeral procession happens to pass by, and A-yue joins their ranks. In the 76th year of the Republic of China, the 36-year martial law period ends, and Taiwan begins to exonerate the victims mistakenly killed during that long era. Over the years, A-yue has been searching for Zhao Gongdao's whereabouts. Every time a new list of victims is released, she asks her daughter to help look for his name, but Zhao Gongdao never appears on the lists. In the blink of an eye, the year is 2004. While undergoing a medical checkup at a hospital, the elderly A-yue suddenly hears a familiar name, Zhao Gongdao. She never expected to meet him here, let alone that he would still remember her. She asks if he was executed, and he replies lightly that he was imprisoned for 25 years. This casual remark instantly brings A-yue to tears. This stranger ruined his entire life to help her find her brother, and to this day he remains alone with no wife or children. The doctor urges A-yue to go in for her checkup, so she tells Zhao Gongdao to wait outside for her, just as he had told her years ago. However, time is sometimes a joke. One turnaround can last a lifetime. Zhao Gongdao does not wait outside. He hands a watch to the nurse, asking her to pass it to A-yue, telling her that it is not the same watch from before, but it looks very similar. He chooses this gentle way to quietly exit, completing a farewell that spans half a lifetime. This is a farewell to A-yue, and simultaneously a farewell to that fog-like era. A Foggy Tale is a film directed by Chen Yu-soon, released in 2025. It led the 60-second Golden Horse Awards with 11 nominations, making it the most nominated film of the event. Ultimately, it won 5 major awards, including Best Feature Film and Best Original Screenplay, becoming the biggest winner of the night. It topped Netflix's Taiwanese charts in less than a day, and critics have bestowed upon it a weighty title, another A City of Sadness. Interestingly, director Chen Yu-son once thought this would be the last film of his life, as he was certain it would flop. But instead of flopping, it gently peeled back a corner of the fog surrounding an entire era. The words dameng actually read as thick fog in Taiwanese. It was an era where no one could see clearly into tomorrow, unable to distinguish the good from the bad, unable to see the past or future, or even whether they would still be alive the next day. But this film is never just about a corpse or an exorbitant mundane bill. It is about justice, and where justice hides in an era completely devoid of it. Director Chen Yu-sun once said that the answer to why he had to make this film lies in the male protagonist's name, Zhao Gengdao, with Gengdao meaning justice. Justice was something rarer than gold in that era. The most ruthless aspect of this film lies here. Those who truly hold justice never dispense it. Spies like Fan Kun use tiger benches, extort confessions, condemn people, and carry out executions. Yet they manage to live out wealthy and peaceful old ages. There is no retribution, no reckoning, and not even a word of apology. Conversely, the one who truly delivers justice is a penniless rickshaw puller who can barely protect himself. He has no power, no money, and cannot even shield himself, yet he still lays his entire life on the line. It was an era that labeled scholars as criminals. It was an era where one had to sew a comrade's bones into their underwear just to bring them back home. It was an era where one had to scrounge up $1,000 just to collect a loved one's corpse. It was an era where the government owed you justice, but a stranger had to pay it back on their behalf. To help A-yue find her brother, Zhao Gengdao was arrested as a spy and locked up for 25 years. He was released alone, with no wife or children, while A-yue spent half her life looking for him. This is the most heartbreaking part. Every one of us is actually waiting for justice, a proof, an apology, or that list that finally has our name written on it. We place all our hopes for justice on the system, but A-yue waited for decades, and no one ever returned justice to her. Every time Zhao Gengdao set off with his rickshaw in the film, he would shout his departure. Back then, no one knew which departure would be his last. Yet, this film tells us that those who have left never truly disappear. They simply become the lightest yet heaviest footnotes of an era.